Elden Ring, Radahn, villain review. Today I'm analyzing Radahn from the base game as well as the DLC to give him a score 1 out of 10. Overrated or epic big legend of a villain? Let's do it.
Eaten from the inside by Melania's scarlet rot, his wits are long gone.
I think I have this down pretty good, but I don't need those jerks in the comments being like, no, you didn't mention Radahn's old roommate Kevin from the Tarnished Golden Circle. Radahn is one of 3 children of fellow bosses Radahn and Rennala, making him one of just 8 demigods in the land between. Pretty much, he's Percy Jackson. Here's the thing, Radahn would leave to get milk one day and come back with a new stepmom for the kids, Queen Marika. All the kids would get a power buff. Radahn would grow in both size and power. His stepbrother Mikola saying, hey, you should come be my consort. The two would make a promise to uphold that value, but then everything would change when the Great Shattering would attack. I'm just kidding. The Great Shattering, the Elden Ring, shatters. Yeah. All the Nepo babies would get in this big fight, including Radahn versus Melania. 2 of the biggest G's in all the land. They'd fight until a standstill when Melania would release her Scarlet Rot, her final secret jutsu that would overtake Radahn and drive him to insanity. The rot would consume him, turning him feral, as he'd roam the fields, consuming corpses like a dog, losing all sense of being outside of his skills in combat, which would then spawn the Radahn Festival, an event where people would travel from all corners of the world to try and kill Radahn in combat, giving him the death his followers thought he deserved. So really, doesn't have a motive, but dude, it's so interesting. Easily one of the most interesting stories in the game surrounding a boss. And as I'll touch on later, it helps the game stops to make sure that we know this. As far as the lore going into a boss, Radahn's next to none in my opinion. Character-wise, it's hard on the surface to analyze Radahn as a character because the guy never says a word. Now I have good news, Radahn fans, and bad news. Let's start with the bad. The tricky thing about the Elden Ring story is it's mainly told through secondhand accounts. You go up to an NPC and he says, hey, trust me, bro, Radahn was really respected by his soldiers. Just trust me. So from there, it's hard to get a good read on the character since we never heard it firsthand. Are these sources credible? Are they biased? Who even knows? Is this person insane? Hearing that he was brave and respected and noble, it's hard to associate those as character traits rather than just the lore saying, just trust me. If anything, I think the best way to look at this character is to abandon everything the lore says and look at him almost as this urban legend, this guy where only rumors exist about his past life, different crowds having different opinions and theories, no one really sure who's telling the truth. When you look at him, he's almost like this Sasquatchian character. I think it's pretty cool. Time for the good news, Radahn fans. There's one thing about Radahn that we witness as a character, one thing to rule them all. One small design decision that tells us a ton about this guy. It's the damn horse. For those who don't know, Radahn had this horse he was very loyal to back before he bulked up. And when he got too big, he didn't want to abandon his horse, so he learned gravity magic to make himself lighter. Hence, when he jumps on the steed, it won't crush him to death. Freaking awesome, dude. It shows he's loyal and compassionate, almost sentimental, and I love when design is used to tell us more about a character. The same way his armor teaches us about his adoration for Godfrey. Genius move by the writers because it would have been so easy to ditch the horse and just have him ride around or, run around like a crazy guy, but they went the extra mile, and that's what makes him stand out. Because when you walk in and you see this giant bulked up monster on a tiny horse, you're like, dude, what the hell? I gotta hear that story.
The conqueror of the stars, General Radahn.
Radahn has about 3 scenes in a combined 70-hour story. Firstly, let's talk about this cutscene that's not really in the game between him and Melania. It looks great, it's badass, it's beautiful, I wish it was longer, wish we saw more of this, but it's still great. FromSoft should do a novelization of the lore, that would be really cool. Maybe they do, that, and I don't know, but that'd be sick. The Radahn fight, though, one of the best in the game. One of the only times we get a cutscene before you even enter the arena, which shows that the game cares about Radahn. They want to make sure there's no confusion about what's going on. Any other fight, right? They just throw you in there, smack you on the butt, and say, good luck, buddy. Get ready to die for the next 5 hours. But Radahn, they stop, and they say, okay, pause. Let's explain what's going on. We gotta make sure you know, because it's gonna be lit. What the hell, dude? The glazing goes crazy. No other boss in this game gets that treatment. The fight itself is great. Of course, it's difficult, but the buildup is sweet. And there's so many cool things about this fight, like the sprawling desert you fight him in, to that batshit crazy transition to him chucking stars. Bro thinks he's Rosalina or something. And dude, the fact you get to bring in some homies into battle with you, again, it's like no other fight in the game. Radahn is a badass. He's cool. Easily one of the most memorable fights in all of Elden Ring. Lastly, we have his final appearance in Shadow of the Erdtree. The idea that you fight Radahn in his prime is an awesome one. Again, you get that feeling FromSoft cares about Radahn because of the fact they brought him back. They made him not only a player again, but the final boss of the DLC. Radahn is, dare I say, the best Elden Ring character in general. He stands and thrives in every category. His fight, his lore, design, everything. What makes him so good is he seems to be the only villain in the game where FromSoft stops and wants you to know what's going on. The Radahn Festival feeling like a whole moment and not just another fight. His scenes are brief but are the ones that we'll remember for a long time. I'm gonna give Radahn an 8.
If you have known sin, if you grieve for this world, then yield the path forward to us.
Thank you so much for watching. New villain review all the time. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers. I'll talk to you later.